Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're just going to ask that if you're here with your kids, that every family is sitting together, okay? So just make a point that if you're with your kids, we want to be praying as a family. That way you can be pointing at the prayer book where we are, helping your kids follow along. So all students, you should be next to your parents or your grown-up that you came with.
Okay. Rabbi, I didn't mean to interrupt your announcements.
No, that was perfect. That was it.
All right, excellent. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Now, tell me, do you know how to use your singing voices? Raise your hand if you know how to use them. All right, a few people, a few hands. What if I told you that you could just sing on la, 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 la anytime you felt like it tonight, and that would be praying? What if I told you that? What do you think, Rabbi Sharon? I think it's we should try it. I want to teach you this very special melody for Sukkot time, which it, of course, is. And it goes like this. Ya-da-da-da-da, 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 repeat after me. Visamachta. Oh, thank you, Dave. Front row, excellent voice. Visamachta. That's it. Bichagecha.
Bichagecha.
Vehayita.
Vehayita.
Ach sameach.
Ach sameach.
Again, visamachta.
Visamachta.
That's right. Bichagecha.
Bichagecha.
Vehayita.
Vehayita.
Ach sameach.
Ach sameach.
That's right.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Wait, there's a lot of us. We can be louder. Shabbat Shalom. So before we begin formally with services, I just want to make sure that we all literally can be on the same page. So Shara is right by the prayer books. She's our usher tonight, I think, and she's passing out the prayer books. If you don't have a prayer book, at some point you want to just kind of come on up, grab one, that way you can follow along. If you need to use the bathrooms, they're right outside to the right. All gender and handicap accessible are outside into the office to the left. Should you need, for any reason, exits, of course, you've got the main exit that we came in, but we've got exits all to the side. And in addition to that, we want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable at services, which means these might be new melodies to you, and sometimes a simple yababa or a bim bim bam is enough. You're going to find that we've got a little bit of a abbreviated service heading into after the prayer for healing, at which point, students, that's when you know that we're going to be specifically addressing you and giving you that special blessing and welcome into our religious school. What we're doing tonight is called consecration. It's basically a matriculation ceremony, for those who don't know, saying to our newest students, welcome, we are so glad you are here. Now, what we just heard, V'samachta v'chagecha, on Sukkot, our job is to be happy. And living in the house that I do, with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, sometimes it's the smallest things that make my kids happy. Their Elsa or their Anna toothbrush, this particular toy or this particular stuffed animal. And the goal is to figure out, for us as adults at least, who are here, how it is that we can get that spirit. We can find the happiness in even the smallest things. And Sukkot, which challenges us to go into a house without real walls, without a real ceiling, teaches us to find that particular happiness. So so the lighting of our candles is meant to also bring us joy. And to do that, I want to invite us to page 2 and 3. And in honor of the fact that this is their fourth and final consecration, I want to call out the Garcia Pedroza family to light our candles tonight. Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotah v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so we're on page number 5, and we lift up our cup as we join together in Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
We say together, Amen. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila levikrae kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen.
Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. So we're going to usher in Shabbat really with the singing of L'chadodi. If you want to turn, we're on page 20 in the prayer books.
L'chadodi
Likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela yaidai l'chadodi likrat kala. And if you don't know the words, you can always clap your hands. B'nei Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor v'dibor השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו תפארת וליק. Let's hear L'chadodi. L'chadodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela yaidai l'chadodi likrat kala yananai yananai b'nei Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat לכוון לך כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם משוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה. Let's hear you. L'chadodi l'chadodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela yaidai l'chadodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse number 5, hitoreri 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 kiva ore kumi ori uri uri shir daveri kevod Adonai alayik nigla l'chadodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela yaidai l'chadodi likrat kala yananai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. So if you've never heard this before, this is the time in the prayer we rise and we face the door to greet Shabbat coming in.
Shalom, ateret bola, gam besimcha ubetzola, tochem hunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala yararai, yalalai yararai, pene Shabbat. Mekabela. And if you like to dance, this is your moment. Lecha dodi likrat kala yararai, 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 pene Shabbat. Mekabela. A little faster, please. Yararai, lecha dodi likrat kala yararai, 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 pene Shabbat. Mekabela yarai la la la, lecha dodi likrat kala yararai, 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 pene Shabbat mekabela.
We remain standing, page 28.
Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai yai dai, la la la. Together with me. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai la 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 la. Yai dai dai la 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 la. Join us. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We are seated. Page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sails of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravi.
Amen.
Page 32.
Ahavat
Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta
Ali ken Adonai Eloheinu
B'shokbeinu u'bekumenu
nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratcha ובמצוותיך לעולם לעולם מבער
כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו באורך
ימינו והם נגד יומם ולילה
יומם ולילה
ואהבתך תאכל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Page 36, we continue together. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בעם ושיבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We move forward now in our prayer book. We're on page 40 as we join together in the words of Micha Mocha.
Actually, it's on yadadai, yadai, 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 Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Try it with us.
Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha netzar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osevele. Nora tehilot osevele.
מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים זה אלינו ואמרו זה אלינו ואמרו.
Clap your hands with us. Adonai lo לעולם ועד. Adonai lo לעולם ועד.
One more time on yai 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 la 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 yai 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 la 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 yai la la yai la 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 yai la la yai ונאמר כי אדוני את יעקב וגלו מעט חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We're going to turn to page 46, and in a moment after this opening meditation, we're going to move into silent prayer. Now, I know some of you can't read Hebrew yet. Some of you can't even read yet, which means that if you can't read the words or you don't want to read the words, you can always just throw out 3 different kinds of things. A wish for the future. You can say thank you for something that really, really is wonderful, or you can just say wow for something that is in your life. And so if you can't read these words, think of a wish, think of a wow, think of a thanks as we rise, page 46.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך.
So you can continue to keep sending those prayers from your heart out into the universe that's listening. We're going to end this private prayer with one out loud. A prayer of intention, a prayer where we say, I will do this, and if I can do more of this, then the world can become more of the world I want to live in. And the this is just building with love. Just making sure there's love in there as we build. So we say these 3 words, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Very, very simple message. Let's just build the world, but build it with love. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadarai, yadarai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadarai, yadarai, yadarai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadarai, yadarai, yadarai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadarai, yadarai, yadarai. Now we're going to sing together. I will build this world from love. Yadarai, yadarai, yadarai. And you must build. That's right. You must build this world. You must build this world. Yadarai, yadarai, yadarai. And if we build this world, if we build this world from love, yadarai, 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 then God will build. God will build this world from love through us. Yadarai, yadarai, one more time. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yadarai, 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 yadarai.
Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
Olam Chesed, Olam Chesed, Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
So I know we've lost a few of our students over the course of our service, which by the way is wonderful. Zechariah famously talked about the sound of the Messiah as the sound of children playing. And I know there are definitely children playing in the back, but we're going to do our prayer for healing now, and then it's your moment, our students. So if we want to come grab them, since we're going to need them in very, very soon, we're going to be joining together in just a moment with them.
So I'm going to ask you to turn to page 253, and merely for the words that you see in front of you, but I will tell you that the words are really in your heart. So think of those that are sick and need your help. And this goes to all the kids that are out here. Think of those people that you really, 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 really want to give them a prayer for healing. And then you'll look up on the screen and you'll see all the names. So I'm going to look around the room. If you want to say those names out loud, by all means do so. And if you didn't say the name out loud, I know it's in your heart. Join me on page 253. Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
It's time to invite up all of the students. So even if you aren't a first year student, even if this is not your first year, and you want to come and sit up here with me, I'm going to tell a story. And I love it when I have friends who are up here with me while I tell a story. So all of my friends can come and sit over here. You can bring your brothers and sisters or your cousins or your other friends or whoever's here with you. All right. Just be super careful of that wire. Don't touch the wire, please. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. I love it. So there's a story about a young shepherd. What's a shepherd? Anyone know? What's a shepherd, Sadie? A shepherd is not a dog. All right, Sid. Yes, she got it. Sydney Bias to the rescue. A shepherd is a person who takes care of sheep. All right. So this young shepherd came to the synagogue to pray, but he couldn't pray because he had not learned to read the words that skipped across the pages of the books. He sat quietly and he listened to the words that climbed in wisps, soaring upwards into the white light to meet the heavens, kind of like our prayers were just doing when Cantor Greenberg was singing. The more he listened, the more he wanted to pray, but all he could do was sit silently and listen. Ugh. Then he remembered that in his pocket was a little flute that he carried, in which he led his flocks. He took the sheep along with him with the flute. He took the flute from his pocket, and he lifted it up to his lips, and he began to play the simple melody that he used to call his sheep. Of course, a shepherd's flute has to be very loud, and indeed it was. The sound of the melody filled the synagogue with its high, piercing notes. The people around him looked around in surprise. What was this? Who is this young boy, not dressed very well, not holding a prayer book, playing his ugly flute in the middle of services? Immediately, a murmur went through the congregation as all the heads turned to stare at this young boy, each face looking with a shock of anger. But the young shepherd didn't even notice. His eyes were closed as he played the flute. His heart was filled with the feelings of his prayers. Rabbis, rabbis, one woman said, can't you make this young boy stop? He doesn't respect our prayers. He keeps interrupting our service with his loud flute, and he should leave at once. Other angry people murmured in agreement at the woman's words, and all eyes turned to the rabbis for their response. But the rabbis, too, had their eyes closed. What were they doing? Slowly, the rabbis opened their eyes, and they looked out upon the congregation with great love and wisdom. One rabbi said, don't be angry, my friends. This young boy plays his flute as we sing our prayers. And another rabbi joined in saying, it is his prayer, his way of speaking to God here in the synagogue. Listen again, my friends, and maybe you will hear a touch of what he hears. And so the people closed their eyes, and their anger quickly melted, and they heard the shepherd play a sweet, soft melody to God. As the music filled the room, the people fell quiet before the melody, listening to the prayer of the shepherd and his flute. And so it is with all of you, our newest students, who might not yet know all the words to all our prayers or how to read each of the letters, but the sweet sounds that you all bring into the sanctuary tonight and every week when we're here at religious school are the sounds of the boy's flute, a way of speaking to God, of lifting all of our hearts towards the Holy One and toward each other. So now all our new students, everyone who's coming to religious school for the first time this year, okay, we're going to invite you guys to come back over here behind the chairs, right? Is that where we're doing it? Yeah. All right, behind the chairs over here, and Rabbi and I, and maybe we can have some other grown-ups help us out. We need some tall grown-ups.
Yeah, why don't we have as many grown-ups who we can, preferably ones that are your parents maybe, but also community members too. I like the symbolism of everybody coming.
Everybody can come
So
and
everybody,
help.
why don't you come up and help us hold this talus over your head?
So we're going to have you guys stand all underneath this when we get it all stretched out. All right? It's a really big talus. It's not a tallis that probably any one person would wear. It's a tallis that all of you are going to get. Let's see if maybe these grown-ups can come. All right. Look at this, Rabbi. We are all under the
This
tallis.
is amazing.
It's amazing.
So if you're one of our newer learners, and by the way, we have 64 new learners in our congregation, so you guys are just a subset of that. You're going to see around you, we're sitting underneath this tallis. And one of the cool things about this tallis, first of all, notice where we are, because the beginning of your B'nai Mitzvah, we always unroll a big giant tallis and have you come under with all of your family and friends holding it. And so it's a little bit symbolic, but also what's so cool is there are no walls, which means that you are being supported. You are being held by your community. Some people that are holding this tallis, you know. Some people, they might even be your parents. Some people you've never met before. But one of the amazing things about being part of a Jewish community is that everybody cares about you just because you're part of this community. You are special just because you are part of this community, which is pretty amazing. And so we want to formally welcome you to your Jewish education by giving you a blessing and a couple gifts. And you are going to say a prayer as well. So first, I know that you've all learned the Shema, correct? And many of them. So why don't we all say it together? Ready? Shema Yisrael Adonai
Eloheinu Adonai.
Now you just said a blessing, so now it's our turn. So Cantor Greenberg is going to say a special blessing for you in Hebrew,
I'm giving you a
and
hug
Rabbi
from over
Litwin is
here.
going to answer in English.
That's right.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and always watch over you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May God's face shine on you and give you grace.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God always smile on you and grant you the greatest blessing. Peace.
Ken yeh ratzon, may it be God's will, and let us all sing.
Amen.
So there's a special blessing for all new things, and today is new because you're really kicking off your journey, and it's called the Shechianu, and it goes
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu.
melech
And join with us,
haolam.
everyone. Shechianu, v'kiyamanu, mehigianu, lazman hazeh.
Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, Yehelanu, 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 ulecha Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulecha Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulecha Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael.
So before you go and take a seat, we're going to read each of your names, and we have a special certificate and a special little mini Torah for you, but we're not going to hand it out just yet because it's going to take a little too long, but you're going to hear your name as you're formally welcomed.
Yes, so we're welcoming Sydney Bias, Asa Brenton, Julia Brenton, Jackie Brillman, Ellery Burston, Gibson Burston, Ansel Chestnut, Wilson Chestnut, Leah Chorney, Sophie Clavalou, Benjamin Crowley, Shai Demont, Jacob Feldman, Sadie Feldman, Eric Felsenthal, Hallie Fenster, Maddie Fenster, Chloe Filipovic, Dylan Frost, Talia Garcia Pedroza, Allison Goldberg, Julia Goldman, Georgie Greenberg, Jack Greenberg, Lucas Grin, Jonah Gertman, Sasha Gertman, Emma Handelsman, Dylan Klein, Jack Kramer, Devin Leschowitz, Toby Levine, Ella Lindholm, Dean Manor, Jedediah Jed Meyerowitz, Shay Miller, Harper Mixer, Nathan Nowak, Hunter Overdorf, Jacob Peruzzi, Nina Pizer, Noah Pizer, Maya Rabinowitz, Mateo Rabinowitz, Thea Rabinowitz, Aiden Radsley, Nazi Robbins Omer, Jack Saunders, Jack Shamalin, Dylan Schweitzer, Mackenzie Schweitzer, Piper Simon, Wiley Simon, Theo Tivolini, Maisie Tucker, Leona Vogel, Romy Vogel, Iris Wagner Goldstein, Sylvie Wagner Goldstein, Lior Warshawski, Lucas Waynick, Sam Weinberg, and Leo Wernick.
Welcome
Wow,
officially.
so many of you. Oh my goodness. So we're going to have you guys go back to your seats, and after the service is done, come back up to the bema after we sing our last song, and before you grab your dessert, you can come and get your Torah and your certificate.
Yes. So we're going to move into the concluding section of our service, and as you go back to your
go
seats,
find your parents.
make sure to sit with your parents because we got a really serious prayer coming up in a second. But as you're going back to your seats, we're going to invite everyone to rise, page 282 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות,
Please stay standing.
We
stay standing for this
rise
prayer.
together. Vam kalkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kecho hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh. Page 591. V'nemar, V'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. We're seated together. Our thoughts now turn to those that we've loved and who we have lost. I'm going to read a list of names now of people for whom our community is mourning, people for whom our community is thinking about. And I'm going to ask that we stay as quiet as possible during this, as together, if you hear a name of your loved one, you rise. Our community remembers Jennifer Amlin, Samuel Burles, Alan Shavat, Mayor Cohen, Lillian Eckstein, Samuel Gaffin, Kenneth Gaffin, Vladimir Garrick, Anna Gash, Morris Ginsburg, Saul Grossbean, Ida Grossman, Hannah Beal Held, Gordon Farrell Hellman, Louis Herman, Faye Jacobs, Leon Katz, Dora Kessler, Eva Krebs, David Levy, Molly Mackler, Joseph Mandel, James Messinio, Seymour Moncars, Leonard Napick, Ruth Neckers, Mary Opatot, Isaac Schwartz, Fanny Solomon, Kenneth Spungen, Simon Strickler, Isef Zaks, and Henry Zwerling. And those who are in their Shiva and Shloshim periods of mourning: David Frank, husband of Karen Frank, Judith Rich, wife of Robert Rich, Ann Rosenberg, stepmother of Rob Rosenberg, Gwen Kaplan Adamantic, sister of Vicky Pollock, Sandy Shea, father of Lori Abraham. And I announce the death of Jerry Keels, brother of Stan Keels, who will be laid to rest on Sunday, and that Shiva will be Tuesday at Stan and Claire's house from 6:30 to 9 with a minyan at 7:30. In addition, I'll invite anyone to rise who is in their 1-year period of mourning or who's observing a yard site that may not have been on this list. We rise together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. B'yamad divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chai echon v'yom echon v'chayet echol Beit Yisrael. B'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'mei almaya. Yiparach, Yishbach, V'Yipar, V'Ramam, V'Naseh. V'Yitzadar, V'Yitzaleh, V'Yitzalal, Shemeda Kudasha Barechu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiram b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya. Ha'im aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Please be seated. So before we move into our concluding song as we end our service tonight, just a few announcements. The first is, you probably saw our updated eGarrett, our updated eBlast. We're trying to keep it nice and tight. That way you can kind of eyeball and see everything instead of going down page after page after page. Just make sure if something looks interesting that you click on it, and that way you can get more information. But all the headlines are there. So tomorrow morning, we've got our tot service at 9 a.m., our main service at 10 a.m., both of which are going to be out in the sukkah. Services will not be live streamed tomorrow morning. And then on Monday morning, we've got our Yizkor service and Shmini Atzeret. At Monday night is Simchat Torah. So we're going to dance with the Torah and celebrate the Torah. 6 p.m., our kids program, 6:45, our adult program. It is on Church Street. We're closing down the street, dancing in the streets with the Torah. In addition, next weekend, we have our adult B'nai Mitzvah class kicking off. I want to encourage, especially the parents who are in this room who may not have been B'nai Mitzvah before, as your students are starting their Jewish journey, you can start yours too. And you can take this year-plus class to learn a little bit more about Judaism, but also potentially culminate in a wonderful modeling behavior for your students as they watch you take on this, which they will in a number of years. So go to our website, see the many other things that are happening, including a night with J Street on the 26th of this month and any number of other things.
Feel free always to ask any of us
Of course.
anytime about how we can help you connect more and find your voice.
ושמחת בחגיך והיית אך שמח ושמחת בחגיך והיית אך שמח יאללה 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 יאללה.
Sing with us. Yalla, 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 yalla.
One more time. ושמח ושמח והיית אך שמח ושמחת בחגיך והיית אך שמח.
Shabbat Shalom
Shabbat
and Mazal
Shalom.
Tov.
Mazal Tov to all our new students. Come get your Torah and your certificate, and make sure you grab something yummy.
And meet someone new,
at least
especially
one thing.
intergenerationally. Meet someone new.
Yes.
Thanks, Bob. Shabbat Shalom.